What is going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you live from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut, and today we're going to be recapping the round of 16 from the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Now, I am aware that the quarterfinals have begun. I am aware of the outcome of the first game of the quarterfinals. I have completely avoided the score of the second one. I will be watching that game on replay, so if you are in the comments, please do not tell me what the score in the Netherlands blanking Argentina game is, but regardless. So this is our third FIFA World Cup video, and I'm excited. You know, we've had some great games so far. So without further ado, we do have the two previous videos, of course, discussing previewing the whole tournament and then discussing the group stages. So this will be a shorter one because there's only 8 matches to discuss. So without further ado, we will begin. We will discuss the games in order, and I'm simming Poland versus Australia because why not? You know, two teams that surprisingly advanced. Maybe not so surprisingly in Poland's case, but so here we go. So first off, we had the Netherlands versus the United States, and this was a game that we were all kind of, you know, as Americans, I'm looking at this game as an American. I'm saying, all right, it's a good thing that the United States made it. You know, this is a team young team, and they were giving me hope with how they played England, how they beat Iran. I'm like, okay, there's potential. There's potential for sure. So right off the bat, 10 minutes into the game, Netherlands is up 1-0. Holding my breath. We're about to go to extra time. You know, we're about to end the first half. Netherlands scores a second goal, up 2-0. Now, up to that point, the United States had been basically controlling the game. It's just their defense was crumbling when they needed it to stand strong, whereas their offense wasn't able to convert because the Dutch were doing a great job holding Pulisic down, which is what they had to do. So it just became an awkward situation for the United States, a game that, you know, it should have been 0-0, 1-1, but the United States just couldn't convert on their chances. You start the second half. The second half starts pretty much the same way, and about on the 76th minute, the United States scores a goal. And it was a needed goal. It was a bit of a morale booster. The fans started getting back into it. 5 minutes after that, the Netherlands scored their third goal, up 3-1. United States morale is dead. The Dutch just kind of say, all right, we're going to pass the ball around. There's no point in giving you a chance. Netherlands holds on to win the game 3-1. It was a tough loss for the United States, but again, this is a young team. This is a team that we all kind of, before the tournament, were saying it's good for them to get the experience, where the United States is lacking that 9 guy, you know, someone that can come out here across that they can make a better run in 2026. For the Netherlands, an older, experienced team, this could very well be their last chance of being, you know, a FIFA World Cup contender, so they needed to win. Congrats to the United States, or congrats to the Dutch. United States, better luck next time. Then we had Argentina versus these Aussies. This was another game that was pretty exciting, everyone kind of figured Argentina should win this game. How did it end up working out? Argentina, Australia, the Aussies' defense was kind of slowing down the Argentinian attack, but the Argentinian defense was completely stifling the Australian attack. So on the 35th minute, Messi scores a goal, and that's it for the first half. Then, about 10 minutes into the second half, 57th minute, Argentina scores a second goal. So it's 2-0 Argentina. This is a game, again, this is what the projected outcome would have been, 2-0 Argentina right now. Then, on the 77th minute, Argentina scores another goal, but unfortunately for them, it's credited as an own goal, as it bounced off defender going into the goal. So it's 2-1 Argentina's favor. But the Argentinian defense was just too much for the Aussies to get through. Final score, 2-1. Argentina advances. Australia, congratulations on moving on. The Socceroos, I think they're called. You know, they played well, but it wasn't enough. So, good but not great. Argentina, as expected, moved on. So we got France versus Poland. And this was a game that, you know, whenever you have two European heavyweights like this face off, it's always fun to kind of watch it and say, all right, who's going to win? First majority of this game, very quiet. No one's really doing anything. It's defense, conservative soccer. And the French end up scoring in the 44th minute. And at that, it is 1-0 going into the half. Then, of course, the best player, arguably in soccer, but realistically, probably the best European not named Cristiano Ronaldo. He ends up scoring in the 74th minute. He ends up scoring the first minute of extra time. So France is up 3-0 against Poland. It's pretty clear Poland's done. Their big name player, he ends up scoring a goal 9 minutes into extra time on a penalty kick, but 3-1 final result. France moves on. Poland, as expected, lost to France. You know, a lot of these miraculous runs just aren't happening right now. You know, this is where a lot of the darlings meet their fate because, yeah, you played well in the group stage because you were prepared. You know, looking at Saudi Arabia, for example, you were prepared for Argentina. But if they had moved on, hypothetically, who would they have? You can't prepare for France, hypothetically, if they're in the next round. You can't dedicate your whole game plan to beating them. So, good showing for Poland. At least you made it to the round of 16. For France, this was an expected outcome. Now you have a tough matchup because the other match on that day was between England and Senegal. Now, Senegal is a team that you look at them and it's like, okay, these guys, they may have benefited from being in a weak Group A. Give them that. But how are they going to do? They're going up against England, who, of course, won Group B. Very strong showing in Group B. United States was the only team that really gave them any headaches. So, 38th minute, England scores a goal. They're up 1-0. Just 3 minutes into extra time, so shortly thereafter, essentially 10 minutes after that first goal, they score a second goal. Harry Kane does. Then about 10 minutes into the second half, on the 57th minute, they score a third goal. And at this point, the English just say, all right, we're going to play a defensive game. We don't need to keep pushing. England holds on to beat Senegal 3-0. England, again, as expected, this was a team that's expected to make a lot of noise this year. So they should be where they are. They should have won against Senegal. They should have won Group B. They did all that. Pressure's on them now. They get to play France tomorrow. That'll be an exciting game to watch. Senegal, very good showing for them. There are a lot of question marks. Without your best player this year, you got to give them credit. They made a deeper run than what people were expecting, myself included. Senegal, good showing. England, as expected. So now we go to another fun, exciting game. This would have been the second game I watched the entirety of in the round of 16. The others I just kind of watched either part of it live and watched the recap later. But Japan versus Croatia. So this was a game I remember I'm just watching it and I'm like, all right, I'm rooting for one side in particular, and I'm rooting for Croatia at that point. So I'm watching with an interest in that. I'm like, I want to see Croatia. You know, they're kind of like the darlings that are left. Japan, I wouldn't be upset if they would have won. So Japan ends up scoring a goal just as the first half's about to end in the 43rd minute. We go into halftime. Japan is up 1-0. About 10 minutes into the second half, Croatia scores a goal in the 55th minute. So you're tied at 1-1. This game goes into extra time. Nobody's able to score in extra time. There were some chances, specifically on the Japanese side. They did have a couple shots, but the Croatian goalie was just playing head, shoulders above everyone else. And heading into they end up going to penalties. So it's first penalty kicks of the FIFA World Cup, 2022 FIFA World Cup, because remember, there was no penalty kicks in the group stage. So this was exciting. And right off the bat, Japan goes first. Good save by the Croatian keeper. Croatia scores 1-0 Croatia. Second opportunity. Great save by the Croatian keeper. Croatia scores a goal. So it's 2-0 Croatia through the first two rounds. Japan does score on their third chance, and Croatia does not. Great save by the Japanese keeper. So it's 2-1, and this means, you know, you could have 4 rounds, you could have 5 rounds. In the fourth round, Yoshida does not score for Japan. This means that in order for Japan to win, they need to block both Croatian kicks and score on their opportunity to force another round of penalties. However, Croatia scores 3-1. They win in penalties. Japan, great showing. You know, nobody really saw you getting past Germany or advancing over Germany. Nobody really saw you winning the group with Germany and Spain in it. So you got to give them credit. Give credit where credit's due. Great showing for them for the World Cup. There's a lot of potential for them. They definitely should be able to make a run in the 2026 World Cup. But again, we'll have to see what happens. Croatia, momentum is building. You're tired, but momentum is there. Now, who will Croatia get to face in the next round? We had Brazil taking on South Korea, so another, relative heavyweight in soccer, football, taking on an Asian nation that is good, but isn't at the same time. So 7 minutes in, Brazil scores. Shortly thereafter, Neymar gets a penalty kick. He scores in the 13th minute. So all of a sudden, it's 2-0 Brazil. We're not even 15 minutes in this game. And I honestly just turned it off. I'm like, I can't. It's not worth watching right now. I'll just watch the, aftermath of it. I'll watch the recap of it. 29th minute, Brazil scores yet another goal. 36th minute, Brazil scores yet another goal, so it's 4-0. It's like, all right, Brazil's probably just going to focus on defense now. There's no point in trying to run up the score, not against South Korea. This isn't a team you have a rivalry with. So they go to halftime, Brazil up 4-0. Now, halfway through the second half, in the 76th minute, South Korea does score a goal, but that would be all she wrote for them. 4-1, Brazil moves on. As expected, Brazil being the tournament favorites, it is what it is with them. They were expected to win. They played an inferior opponent. They did what they had to do. South Korea, tough draw for them. It's a good showing for them to make it to the round of 16. That's for sure. And then, of course, the last two matchups, we had Morocco taking on Spain. And this was a game that I'm pretty sure I did mention, this is a game that has upset written all over it. Morocco had momentum. Spain had been a bit cold of late. Morocco's defense, I'm pretty sure I said, will be able to frustrate the Spanish attack. Sure enough, nobody scores in the first half. Nobody scores in the second half. Nobody scores in extra time. Morocco's defense, elite, arguably the best defense in football in the world. That's how they game plan. Their midfield is great. They frustrate you. They will not let you score. However, the flip side is they don't really score the ball all that much either. They have a great keeper. For Spain, like I said, they're an older team to an extent. They're a tired team to an extent. And it's just getting tough for them where they just seemed tired after beating up Costa Rica. So I don't think I've seen a red card in this before, so that's interesting. But regardless, so we go to penalties, and Morocco scores on their first attempt. Spain does not. Morocco scores on their second attempt. Spain does not. All of a sudden, Morocco's up 2-0 in penalties. Now, Spain needed to make a save, and they do. However, Spain needed to convert a goal here in their third try. They do not. This puts Morocco in position. Score, you win. They score. 3-0. Morocco advances on penalty kicks over a European heavyweight in Spain. Bit of an upset, bit of a surprise. Morocco, Mojo Morocco, if you will. Keep on moving. It's fun to root for them. It's fun to root for underdogs. For me, they would not face Croatia until the finals if both sides were to win in the quarterfinals. So I can root for Morocco to make it pretty far, which would be pretty cool to watch, for sure. And it would be cool to see an African team finally make it past the quarterfinals. That's for sure. As for Spain, it seemed like you put all your effort into game one against Costa Rica, and then you just tired yourself out. So it's tough, but it is what it is at this point. Not a disappointing showing because at least you advanced. You have brag. Give them credit. Now the last game, who will get to play Morocco, was between Portugal and Switzerland, and this game was something. So, the first 15 minutes were close. There were some chances for Portugal, but that's expected. In the 17th minute, Ramos scores a goal. In the 33rd minute, Pepe scores a goal for Portugal. All of a sudden, you go into the halftime, and it's 2-0 Portugal. That's not absolutely crazy. Now, you get to the second half, and that's where, adjustments are made. So you're thinking, all right, this could go one of two ways. Portugal scores. Ramos scores again in the 51st minute. 4 minutes later, they get another goal, so they're up 4-0. In the 67th minute, I missed a goal here, actually. So Switzerland does score in the 58th minute. So they did get a goal back, so it's 4-1. In the 67th minute, Ramos does score his third goal of the game, gets a hat trick. I believe this was the first hat trick of the World Cup this year. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then in the second minute, past 90. They score yet another goal. Portugal does. So they're up 6-1, and that would be the final score. After the game, the Swiss coach did say that they had been dealing with a stomach bug, so they didn't really get to game plan for Portugal. Portugal's attack is something, their attackers are something that you really have to game plan for. They were able to keep Ronaldo off the board, but he came in as a substitution anyway because of how the Swiss team plays. So it was a tough game for Switzerland. You made it to the round of 16. There's that. It just seems like the stomach bug just completely messed with them. But Portugal did what they had to do. So now we get to the quarterfinals, and we do know the outcome of the first game, Croatia-Brazil, so I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to preview it because there's no point. Now we have Netherlands versus Argentina, and like I said, I haven't watched this game yet, and I know what's going on right now. So Netherlands-Argentina, this is a game that Argentina should be able to win. They're a talented team for sure. They have great firepower. The Dutch defense has some holes in it. The United States exploited how to beat the Dutch. It's just the United States doesn't have the firepower to do it. So Argentina should just take that exact same game plan, except focus more on defense. They should be able to win the game. It wouldn't shock me if the Dutch win because they do have a talented team, an older team, a veteran, grizzled team, but we'll have to see. Morocco versus Portugal. This will be an extremely exciting game. I am really looking forward to what happens in this game. You have the high-octane Portuguese team taking on a very defensive-oriented Moroccan team. If I had to predict who wins, it's probably going to be Portugal. Unfortunately, I do think the African curse continues for another 4 years at minimum. I just don't know if Morocco's going to be able to do it. But if you were to come a day in the future and you told me Morocco beat Portugal 1-0, I wouldn't be shocked. I would say, wow, I'm impressed for him, but it wouldn't be like, are you kidding me? Shocking. So, and then of course, the big match of the game, or the big match of the day, is England-France. This is a matchup that everyone's really excited about because it's England and France. These two teams are rivals, historic rivals. If I was a European, I'd probably be even more excited about them, but England and France. It's England and France. That's all I gotta say. You got the defending champion versus possibly the best European team in the sport right now. So, because Belgium's knocked out. So it's so exciting. This is a matchup that people were hoping wouldn't happen until the, World Cup finals. But here we are, England, France, and I don't know who I'd want to win that game. I'm going to have to see when it starts because it's never fun to have the same team win multiple times, It's fun to have a new team win unless it's your favorite team. And I'm not a France fan, so I'm probably pulling for England. But still, who will win that game? It's going to be close. I do think it's probably going to go into extra time. I do think that England should be able to win. So we'll have to see. Anyways, that was the round of 16. It is quarterfinals time now, so I'm very excited. FIFA World Cup is almost over, which is absolutely crazy to me. And if you guys like these soccer videos, I know I don't know the names like a lot of other YouTubers and all that, but if you guys are interested, I will definitely do some more discussion once we get closer to 2026. Because I'm trying to get more involved in the current sports climates and all that stuff. It's just I wasn't having fun doing like standing updates every other week for football because nobody really liked those videos. I'd get a couple of them, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And when I say football, I should say American football since this is a soccer video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was, of course, recapping the round of 16. Have a good rest of your day and stay safe out there. Definitely.